I once had a reflector client that asked me if they needed to wait an entire lunar cycle to know what they should have for breakfast. I'm not even kidding. So if you're a coach or a reader and you have reflector clients, you're not exactly sure how to describe this strategy and authority to them, right? Wait a lunar cycle. So this is every single reflector type in human design. Their strategy is to wait a lunar cycle. Their authority is no authority, right? This is how I explain it to my clients and to anyone that I do a reading for if they are a reflector type. Reflectors, because they have no center in their chart colored in. So if you pull up a reflector chart, you'll see all 9 energy centers are white, okay? It's a very rare type, like different than 99% of people. When we pull the statistics, reflectors represent about 1% of the population. So you're not gonna see it all the time, but I do actually do readings and see reflectors pretty often because they're really asking the question in their life, why am I so different? Or why do I feel so different? Or why do I act so different than everyone around me? And so the way that I coach reflectors specifically, and this is different than any way that I've ever just heard it described in the human design community, but the way that I coach reflectors is to tell them to find their energy anchors. Because when someone has definition in their chart, so colored in centers in their chart, this is where they're consistent in life. This is where they have energy that they can rely on a day-to-day basis. And so a reflector type has a lot of fluctuations in their own personal energy, right? When they are pulled away from relationships or certain environments, for example, their energy is a little bit like inconsistent. It doesn't mean they don't have energy. It doesn't mean that they don't have routines or, healthy patterns in their life. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that the energy that they tend to bump into on a day-to-day basis, they can take that in and amplify it. And it can become very confusing and overwhelming. Those are like the 2 number 1 things that I hear from reflector type. Confused, overwhelmed. What do I do? And so finding energy anchors means knowing where you are in a lunar cycle, for example, right? Knowing how you feel during a full moon versus how you feel during a new moon, okay? That's 1. Knowing how you feel in this connection, right? One relationship versus knowing what energy is created in another relationship. This helps you inform your decisions. Even knowing where the current transits are, so both astrologically and in a human design chart, knowing the transit calendar and going, oh, I know that this energy is going to plug into this energy in my chart and I'll have consistency for this amount of time. Finding those energy anchors in your days, in your weeks, in your months, in your years, in your relationships helps you to make more informed decisions as a reflector, and also makes it to where you don't feel like you're spending your entire life waiting for something.